Well, apart from the hostilities on the ground, there's also a media war too over Syria, fed by reports of bloodshed that are difficult to verify. Let's talk more about this now to Ali Hashim. He's a former Al Jazeera television correspondent joining us on the line live from Beirut. Ali, hi there. You claim to have witnessed covert efforts by your former network to support the opposition in Syria. We have reported on this before. Bring us up to date, though, briefly. What did you mean by that? Remind our viewers.
Actually, as everyone knows right now, I resigned like a month ago, and that was because of the channel's way of covering the whole Arab Spring, precisely the situation in Syria and Bahrain. On each side, the channel was taking a certain stance. On one side, it was supporting and meddling into every and each detail in the Syrian revolution. At the same time, it was kind of covering up what's going on in Bahrain and not showing really what's happening. Here also we can differentiate between the Arabic and the English channels because each one was taking a kind of a different approach. But this was in general the reasons why I left, because there was kind of lack of professionalism, and at the same time I felt as a journalist that I'm really pushed to do my job for the sake of a certain state's agenda, which is Qatar.
Yeah, Ali, as a seasoned journalist, were you surprised by the scale of what appears to be happening here? How widespread were these efforts that you're talking about?
Actually, I joined Al Jazeera by the beginning of 2011. The first thing I did was going to Libya and covering the revolution from the beginning. You know, things were going on smoothly and normally. You know, it was the first experience in such places. I mean, revolutions, because I've covered wars before, but not a revolution. But you know, when we came back from Libya, and after all what we saw over there, it was, you know, covering the Syrian crisis, and here things started to be clearer and more, you know, blatant. So you know, we went to the borders between Lebanon and Syria, and it was normal that we should say what we are saying. Over there, it was obvious that there were militants entering from the Lebanese borders to Syria and clashing with the Syrian army that was actually away from the borders like 3 kilometers. At that time, we were able to spot these militants, and we took some footage of those people. And later on, the channel refused to air these pictures, and I was asked to forget about these militants, and I was asked to leave the whole area back to Beirut.
And Ali, the channel was also, please correct me if I'm wrong, was also, I gather, helping the rebels, the opposition, get their message back to the station. How were they doing that?
Actually, you know, there are several ways and means. By the way, everyone who has his own agenda have the right to do whatever he wants, as far as he's saying that he is serving a certain agenda. You're not going to say I'm a professional, I'm unbiased, impartial, for whatever objective, and at the same time you're serving an agenda. What happened that, you know, they were helping the rebels. It's what the government wants. It's what Qatar wants, to enter some, you know, those beacons, some satellite, you know, communication tools and apparatuses. So they were entering them, smuggling them into Syria from the borders from Lebanon, as I knew from, you know, people with us in the organization where I used to work, in the media outlet that I used to work for. One of the people who was given like $50,000 at the beginning of the revolution to smuggle a so-called, you know, they called a beacon, which is used for satellite communication in order to show the picture from inside. So this is one of the things that the channel, you know, did in the beginning of the revolution. Okay. I said it's their right to do whatever they want, you know, as far as they're saying that they are serving a certain agenda.
All right, we've heard your allegations there, but I mean, more generally, what effect does media coverage have on events like we've seen unfolding in Syria? How is it affecting the Syria conflict? How is it helping it unfold or not?
let me be clear regarding media coverage of Syria. The media coverage of Syria, showed in a clear way that the Arab media precisely. Later on, we'll talk about the Western media, but the Arab media precisely is divided. It's kind of a partisan media. Each party have his own media that is showing part of the reality. I can say it's not a matter of lying to people, rather than showing half of the reality and then leaving the other half. And this is, what the agendas want. So the problem is people are being misled by media in a way or another on both sides. I'm not saying on one side. On both sides, people are being misled by media. On one side, it's kind of concentrating on showing that the army is killing people and civilians and innocent people, etc., 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 without showing that there are militants also fighting the army and killing also civilians from the other sides, those who support the Syrian regime. At the same time, the official media also was trying to show that there were only militants who are fighting the regime, and there were no people who are asking for freedom and reforms in the country.
Ali, thanks for taking the time to be on the programme. Ali Hashim, journalist and former correspondent with Al Jazeera Television. Thank you.